जय श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की, जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की, जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की, जय श्री श्री गौरनिताय की, जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, जय श्रीला गुरुदेव की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। Today's verse, Canto 4, Chapter 20, verse 24. Na kamaye natha tad api aham vachin. Na kamaye natha tad api aham vachin. Na yatra yushmak charanam bhujushavah. Na yatra yushmak charanam bhujushavah. Mahatta mantar hridayan mukha achyuto. Mahata mantar hridayan mukha achyuto. Vidatsva na kame na tatad api aham vachin. Mahata mantar hridayan mukha achyuto. Vidatsva karna yuttam eshame varaha. Na kame na tatad api aham vachin. Vidatsava karna yuttam eshame varaha. Na kame na tad api aham vachin. Na yatra yushmak charanam bhujashavah. Mahatamantar hitayan mukachyuto. Vidatsva karnayutam yeshame varaha. Na kame na tad api aham vachin. Na yatra yushmak charanam bhujushavah. Mahatam mantar hridayan mukachyuto. Vidatsvaha karanam yutam eshame varaha. Na kame na tati api aham vachin. Na yatra yushmak charanam bhujushavah. Mahatam mantar hridayan mukachyuto. Vidatsva karana yutam yeshame varaha. Na kamaye nata tadapiyaham vachin. Na yatra yushmak charanam bhujushavaha. Mahatam antar hridayanukachyuto. Vidatsava karanameshame varaha. Thank you. Synonyms: na, not. Kamaye, do I desire. Nata, O master. Tat, that. Api, when. Is it? Api, even. Aham, I. Yachit, at any time. Na, not. Yatra, where. Yushmat, your. Charana ambuja, of the lotus feet. Asayaha, the nectarian beverage. Mahatama, of great devotees. Antahridayat, from the core of the heart. Mukha, from the mouths. Achyuta, being delivered. Vidatsva, give. Karna, years. Ayutam, 1,000,000. Eshaha, this. Me, my. Vara, benediction. Translation: My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. I want the benediction of the at least 1,000,000 years, for thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of pure devotees. Purport. In the previous verse, Maharaj Prithu addressed the Lord as Kaivalyapati, the master of liberation of merging into existence. This does not mean that he was anxious for Kaivalya liberation. This is made clear in this verse. My dear Lord, I do not want such benediction. Maharaj Prithu wanted to have 1,000,000 years to hear the glories of the lotus feet of the Lord. He specifically mentioned that the glories of the Lord should emanate from the mouths of pure devotees who speak from the cores of their hearts. It is stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.3, Sukha Mukhad Amrita Dhrava Samyutam. The nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam became more relishable because it emanated from the mouth of Srila Sukadev Goswami. One might think that these glories of the Lord can be heard from anywhere, from the mouths of either devotees or non-devotees. But here it is specifically mentioned that the glories of the Lord must emanate from the mouth of pure devotees. Sri Sanatan Goswami has strictly prohibited hearing from the mouth of a non-devotee. There are many professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam who speak their narrations very ornamentally. But a pure devotee does not like to hear from them because such glorification of the Lord is simply a vibration of the material world. But when heard from the mouth of a pure devotee, glorification of the Lord is immediately effective. The words Satam Prasangan Mama Virya Samvidha, Bhagavatam 3:25-25, mean that glorification of the Lord is potent when uttered from the mouth of a pure devotee. The Lord has innumerate devotees all over the universe, and they have been glorifying the Lord since time immemorial and for an unlimited time. But still they cannot completely finish enumerating the glories of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj therefore wanted innumerable years, as Rupa Goswami also desired to have millions of years and millions of tongues to chant and hear the glorification of the Lord. In other words, in our ears are always engaged, if our ears are always engaged in chanting or hearing the glorification of the Lord, there will be no scope for hearing the Mayavad philosophy, which is doomed to spiritual progress. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that if anyone hears from a Mayavad philosopher preaching about the activities of the Lord, even if it's a description from the Vedic literature, he is ultimately doomed. By hearing such Mayavad philosophy, one cannot come to the destination of spiritual perfection of life. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So yes, we'll be discussing the verse 24, right? Yeah. So Prithu Maharaj continues his prayers to the Lord. So initially he's actually clarifying in this verse that he is not asking for the benediction to merge into the Lord, but instead he's asking for millions of years to hear the glories of the Lord. So what is Prithu Maharaj's position? He's a very great devotee, he's Raja, he's Rishi, and Lord actually comes in his sacrificial arena to settle down between Indra and Prithu Maharaj. So when seeing Prithu Maharaj, Krishna couldn't stay on the top and look at Prithu Maharaj, because Krishna knew what sort of devotee Prithu Maharaj is, so he couldn't stop his feet from going down to his devotee and helping him. And the Lord is also, because of his ecstasy in seeing his bhakta, he comes down to the ground to stabilize him, to control his ecstasy. He loves Prithu Maharaj so much. And what does Prithu Maharaj ask in turn? He is not asking for getting merged into the Lord, because he feels the nectar of hearing about the glories of the Lord would not be possible if he merges into the Lord. So instead he asks for millions of years to hear the glories about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And from whom does he want to hear? From the pure devotees of the Lord. And we can also see from the verse, Prabhupada has also compared it to Rupa Goswami, who also desires for millions and millions of ears and tongues. Not only that Rupa Goswami wants to hear, but he also wants millions of tongues to chant the glories of the holy name, because it's a never-ending list of glories, and hence he's been compared. So why is Prithu Maharaj wanting to hear only from pure devotees of the Lord? Why not from ordinary people? Because ordinary people will not speak Krishna Katha. They would make more noise than give bhakti. That's the difference between a material person and a spiritual person. If one is blessed, only then they can speak about Krishna. They can speak about the glories of Krishna. So that is to be noted. Not anyone can come and give bhakti to anybody. So one has to be in parampara. So we can see examples in Bhagavatam also, that when Dhruva Maharaj, even after performing penances, when the Lord comes in front of him, he is not able to speak anything because he is just a boy. Only after the Lord keeps his conch shell on Dhruva's forehead, then he starts to speak. This conch is symbolized to have all the knowledge of the Vedas. So when that is kept on forehead of Dhruva Maharaj, then everything is revealed to Dhruva Maharaj. And then he starts to glorify the Lord. So it is said that anybody cannot glorify the Lord without the blessings of the Lord himself. Only then there will be potency, and only then the prayers will be perfect. So this is what we need to keep in mind. Like, it's not that anybody can come and preach, or it is not that anybody can come and glorify the Lordship. One has to be blessed by the Lord himself. And yeah, we'll be also discussing on who can sit on a Vyasasan and what are the qualifications of one to sit on a Vyasasan. But for now, we should just think pure devotees are the ones who can give Krishna consciousness. And how do they give Krishna consciousness? They plant the seed of bhakti in the heart of people who are suitable to take bhakti. So if we all are seated here and if we all are able to hear and relish Bhagavatam, it means that we also have got blessings to hear from devotees. Right? So it's both ways. One, the teacher who is giving the class should also be blessed, and the recipient who is understanding the concept should also be blessed, so that the knowledge is revealed to one person, to one. Yeah. So during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's times, Srivas Pandit had once gone to Devanand Pandit's place. So Devanand Pandit, who was he? He was a scholar. And he was a scholar who had a deep knowledge of Puranas. And day in and day out he used to give the message from Bhagavatam. And we all know from this verse that Prabhupada is emphasizing that we should be hearing only from a pure devotee. At that time, Devanand Pandit was not a devotee. He was in fact a Mayavad philosopher. So Srivas Pandit goes to this place, and we also know that Prabhupada has said that what's that? The milk touched by the lips of a serpent is also poisonous. So Srivas Pandit goes and he is listening to the class. At some point, Srivas Pandit falls down unconscious. Is it that Srivas Pandit heard whatever Devanand Pandit was saying and he fell unconscious? Or what was the reason for him to be unconscious? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and he fights for Srivas Pandit to Devanand Pandit. Hey Devanand Pandit, why did you actually throw my devotee out of your home? What is the fault of Srivas Pandit? What did he do? You are a Bhagavatam reciter. He came to listen to your class. But what is the need for throwing him out? So Devanand Pandit felt stuck and he couldn't answer anything to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But actually the reason why Srivas Pandit fell unconscious, it is because he got caught in the recitation of Bhagavatam. He was caught in the beauty of how Bhagavatam was written and he felt unconscious. Even though Devanand Pandit, who was a reciter, didn't feel anything. He was just an ordinary person. He was just giving class. But the recipient, who was blessed, fell unconscious. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came for his devotee to speak to Devanand Pandit. even though Devanand Pandit was just living very close to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place, not once Devanand Pandit has gone to see Mahaprabhu or inquire about any or listen to any class or not have any conversations. Whereas Srivas Pandit wanted to know about Krishna wherever it is told, and he came. Right? So we can understand the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee here. So we see that that Mahaprabhu chastises Devanand Pandit with his words. He actually brings a stick of chastisement through his words and chastises Devanand Pandit left, right and center. And he also says, what kind of disciples you have? They are useless, you are also useless. So what is the need for you to discuss like this when you're not able to relish the Bhagavatam? Right? So many, he gives left, right and center, and then he chastises, and then Devanand Pandit couldn't utter a word, he just keeps quiet. And it is not that because Srivas Pandit had some epilepsy, he fell down, no, but he also fell for bhakti from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So KC is generally meant for intelligent class of people, right? So Bhagavatam should be heard from pure devotees, not that one should sit on an asin, not that anyone can sit on an asin. Anyone who is free from the 4 vices can sit on an asin and give class, right? So what are the 4 vices? When we see, it is like there are, if one is dishonest, or if one is lacking self-control, or if one is having ego or pride, then one cannot give class. And if one is having ignorance, one cannot give class. So one needs to have all these 4, be free from all these 4 qualities to give class or sitting on a Vyasasan. What does Vyasasan mean? The seat of Vyasadeva. So whoever sits on the Vyasadeva is representative of Vyasadeva. So we give respect. So that's why sages went to Sutta Goswami and they glorify Sutta Goswami for his character, how transparent he was, and then asked him to give a solution for his dilemma. And they also got a solution. So where there is transparency, where there is, people who are giving without these 4 vices, knowledge without these 4 vices, then there can be a transformation of one's heart in the listener. Then the message will be potent. So these are things we have to keep in mind. So we all should understand that we are trying to do something very, very important. We have ventured into something which is transcendental, which is pure, which is powerful. So we know the process, right? So we understand from Pittu Maharaj that he is asking for millions of years to hear. So we also want to hear the glories of Krishna by sitting down in the Bhagavatam class, by hearing to the Kirtana, by chanting the Japa, by listening to the holy name. So similarly, an example of Rupa Goswami is given, who wanted millions and millions of tongues and ear. So this is the same process that we should also adapt and try to hear and chant with our maximum attention, is what is said. So examples of Vrindavan Thakur is also mentioned, and Indra, Lord Indra, had a curse once to have 1,000 eyes on his body, it seems. So it is said that Krishna consciousness can transform even a curse into a benediction, right? So how is it that Indra's curse became a benediction is what we will see. So we know about Jaga and Madai and how much of sinful activities they performed. And when Yamaraj heard that they were delivered, Yamaraj was also hearing, when he heard the message that they were delivered, he also heard the chantings or the singing or the kirtana of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was very interested. So Yamaraj goes to Chitragupta and he was like, hey Chitragupta, can you bring the file of Jagai and Madai? And Chitragupta was like, really? Why you want to hear, why you asking me to get the file of Jagai and Madai? Even if you employ 100 more servants, I can't get you the full list, and it will be very hard to list down all the sinful activities that they have performed in their life. So Yamaraj was like, okay, so many sinful activities they have performed, and how did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deliver these people? And Yamaraj actually started glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he started singing and dancing. And at one point he was confused, and because such sinful people also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has delivered, he thought, and he fell from his chariot, and he actually became unconscious. He couldn't do his tasks. So then what happened? The Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, who had been observing what's happening, they come and they are like, why have Yamaraj fell down? What has happened to him? And then they are like discussing, and Lord Indra comes and says, Yamaraj fell unconscious because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. And they also start to hear all the kirtans, and they also become engrossed in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu singing and the kirtan and everything, and they also started dancing, that they even didn't know that the Lord Shiva didn't know that the cloth was falling down, or Lord Brahma didn't know that the hairs were in the air. So much ecstasy they had while hearing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dance, kirtan. So while this was happening, so Indra was like, see, now even that curse of having 1,000 eyes has become a benediction for me now. I'm able to relish that dance and the singing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by being in Krishna consciousness, any curse can become a benediction for us. So that is what this pastime teaches us. So what happens when we start to hear and chant? Srimad Bhagavatam 1:17 says, Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam. When we develop the taste for hearing and chanting, Krishna is so pleased that he removes all our impurities from our heart. What are those qualities that is in us that it is very hard for us to remove? Could we give some examples? Greed, yes. Lust, yes. Envy, anger, jealousy, everything, right? So if we try to remove it, do we think we can? No. It is insurmountable. It's challenging. So that is why we emphasize the process of hearing and chanting. And then we will be able to remove all slowly. Krishna will help us remove those bad qualities from our heart. So we have to develop that eagerness to hear and chant. Yes, sometimes we are bored. Sometimes we are not in the mood to chant. So what do we say when we are in a mood to chant? Which mode is on us? When we are very happy, we want to chant, we want to come to temple, we want to listen to Bhagavatam class. Which mode are we in? Goodness? Transcendental, yeah? Mode of goodness, right? So when we say excuses like, oh, I have homework, or I have assignments, or I have some occupation to do, I have this service, that service, and then we want to skip the Bhagavatam class, and then we want to chant. Which mode are we in? Passion. What do people in mode of goodness say? Oh, last week I went for Bhagavatam class, so today I don't have to go. Or yesterday I finished chanting, so today I'll take it whenever I want. I'll finish. I'll be done with it. Right? So these are the influences by different modes we have on us. So, and Radhanath Maharaj also says some people sit and they are like, should we always chant? I mean, people in the mode of ignorance say, it seems like, should I always chant the same mantra for years together? Won't this Yuga Dharma change for me? Kind of things are the things that people in ignorance say. So we have to be conscious, so we have to try to build up that eagerness. So that is what we have to see. And how is that possible? So initially it is not like voluntarily, okay, I will be in mode of goodness always, I'll be in mode of passion, and I will do everything and I'll perfect myself. No. For initially, let's say for example, if we love somebody, or if we actually hate somebody in our office or in some place, what do we do? But it's we have to please the person, right? Even if we hate in the office your boss or somebody, you have to please the person. So what do we do? First we act as though we are nice to them. So similarly in Krishna conscious also, even though we feel bored, even though we don't want to do our regular chanting or hearing, we act as though we are eager. We want to show up for Bhagavatam classes. We want to show up during our chanting times. We want to show up during Kirtan. And just by acting, then slowly we can perfect ourselves. It is also said, to make our progress faster in Krishna consciousness, we can actually serve great souls. And by sincerely serving them, not only physically but also serving their instructions, we will develop a mood of humility, and we will also develop the eagerness for chanting and hearing. Some might be like, I already have eagerness to hear and chant, so I'll just sit and chant for hours together. But is it fine? Just do daily, day in and day out, 64 rounds, 128 rounds, and listening to lectures. Is it enough? Yeah? Is it enough or no? Is there something extra that we have to do? Service, right? What does service help us to bring out? Chant better. And also by serving, what happens? Transformation of our heart happens, and we become more humble, more purer to listen or to hear more. So that is why it is emphasized that we have to chant better, or we have to serve better, and along with it we have to chant. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited the qualities of the supreme most devotee, right? So he was starving to actually hear from devotees. So whom he would call? He would call Swarup Damodar, he would call Ramananda Rai, he would call Gadadhar Pandit, and ask them to recite Srimad Bhagavatam verses. So once what happened, hearing from all of these were not enough. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually walking past some place, he actually heard somebody enthusiastically reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was attracted. So he went there, and Mahaprabhu began weeping in ecstasy. He was like, chant more, chant more. And then the Prabhu started being very happy, and he chanted more. The more he chanted, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started dancing in ecstasy. Again he said, chant again, and then he would chant. And again Mahaprabhu will go into ecstasy, and he would also embrace this person who is chanting. So it went on like this for 8 hours. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be in ecstasy, he'll be dancing, and he'll be crying, and he'll be embracing. And the exchange was so dear, and devotees had to come and stop Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from dancing, stop him from asking him to recite Bhagavatam again and again. So then Mahaprabhu cooled down. So it is like, this was the eagerness expressed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to hear and chant. So what we can learn is, if not to that level, we can start, daily hearing to the holy names with utmost attention that we can possibly give, and it would be better as time progresses. So these are the examples that we could actually relate to and learn from today's verse. Any reflections from what we studied or heard so far? Any questions, comments? Yeah, Prabhu. So, as long as we are following the path of our Guru, as long as we are repeating their words, they are already blessed souls who have imparted this knowledge to us. And because we are being a parrot and repeating whatever they have told to us, that is our qualification to simply repeat. Yes. He actually vanished, relished. He relished through his eyes. It, it's in one of the lectures, Mataji, Radhanath Maharaj, not Radhanath Maharaj, Damodar Prabhu's lecture. I can forward it to you. It's mentioned. Yeah, particularly the scripture, I don't know. Even I heard in a lecture from Maharaj. Yeah, I see. Yeah, alright. Any other questions, comments? Yeah? Alright. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.